Imagine the new common sense in an uncommon world. There is no blue pill. There is no red pill. Just the truth. It's time to go down the rabbit hole. Good luck. Is this the world you want to live in? Do you trust everything you're being told? Do you trust those who decide what you are allowed to see? Is everything a conspiracy? Would it be crazy to suggest there might be a simple explanation, a simple truth? But are you willing to stand up for the truth? Or are you afraid to stand alone? It's easy to stand in the crowd, but it takes courage to stand alone. Mahatma Gandhi. Who are we as humans? Is this who we really are? Do we have a choice? There's not one answer, only questions. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. Albert Einstein. And in the words of Thomas Paine, I offer nothing more than simple facts, plain arguments, and common sense. To avoid conspiracy claims, the information provided here will be from government documents, peer-reviewed research, and mainstream publications. It's time to go down the rabbit hole. Definitions, conspiracy. We have to learn first the definitions before we begin so we understand exactly what they mean. We hear these words all the time, but let's get the exact definition from Webster. Conspiracy, a secret plan by a group to do something unlawful or harmful. Theory, a system of ideas intended to explain something. Conspiracy theory is a belief that some covert but influential organization is responsible for a circumstance or an event. Conspiracy theories? Well, let's hear it from the CIA's own mouth. In document 1035-960, they stated conspiracy theorists have frequently thrown suspicion on our organization, the CIA, for example, by falsely alleging that Lee Harvey Oswald worked for us. This is what the CIA decided to do about this. We are going to provide material countering and discrediting the claims of conspiracy theorists. Now, make sure you understand that. The CIA said they are going to provide material to counter and discredit conspiracy theorists. Let that sink in. You'll be the one that must make up your own theories. You'll be the one who can foster a discussion, dialogue, and debate. If a picture's worth 1,000 words, then a question can save 1,000,000 lives. Our past, our present. Does this remind you of what our present was not too long ago? Police in California have started ticketing people for having picnics and congregating in beach areas as law enforcement crackdowns on violators of the statewide stay-at-home order. Imagine, doing a picnic is against the law. Social distancing applies to the outdoors. What do we want for our future? Is this the future our leaders, our tech gods have planned for us? Luciferase are widely used in biotechnology as reporter genes developed a way to store medical information under the skin. This created an ink that can be safely embedded in the skin alongside the vaccine itself. That's any vaccine. And it's only visible using a special smartphone camera, app, and filter. Now, who was the one that helped develop this and provided the funds? Well, guess who? The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation funded the team's research. Don't forget your vaccine passport, compliments of Argentina. Yes, vaccine passports dating back to 2018. Did you know that being vaccinated will be necessary and required for such things as entry and exit of a school system every year? Processing and renewing your ID, your passports, to obtain residence, medical procedures for work, prenuptial certificates, and driver's licenses, as well as the processing of family allowances, as stated in December 17, 2018 Global Citizen. If you don't think that's interesting, do you understand that this is the same country that allowed a number of the Nazis to settle into their country after World War II? Let's hear a little bit about that. Why Argentina accepted Nazi war criminals after World War II. Do you have your papers, comrade? Is this the same country that was home for the Nazis? 15,000 people gathered in Buenos Aires at a sports venue, Luna Park, for a rally supporting Hitler on April 10, 1938. Just to give you an idea of why, maybe a correlation between why they were picked as the country to first introduce vaccine passports. Is that bad or good? Well, you have to decide that. Do you have a feeling somebody's watching you? Yes, it's the song, I've got this feeling somebody's watching you. and I got no privacy. Well, Chinese drone manufacturer DJI sent over 100 drones to public safety agencies in almost half of all the states during the lockdown. Yes, this is reported in 2020, April 22nd, Government Technology. Well, it sounds like it's nice. Wow, that's great cooperation. But did you know one nation under surveillance? Yes, the drones that were sent may be sending data collected during the flight to their manufacturers in China, where the information is accessible to the government. Yes, the drones that were sent to America send back information to the manufacturer, which the government can intercede and look at, that are governing over our cities in America. That was reported on 2020, May 6, by Emily Eckert. Secluded beach getaways. Is this how you want to have your beach experience in the future? The game of life. Have you heard of China's social credit system that expands the idea of standard credit check to all aspects of life? Each citizen is awarded 1,000 points to start, and they're monitored to judge their behavior and rated accordingly. It's like we're in some big Monopoly game or something. Now, what are the ways in which you could accrue positive points? Some of these sound very altruistic, such as donating blood, charity work, praising the government on social media, helping the poor. Admirable. This could be a future made in China or in America. However, what are some of the ways that you can get points taken away? Well, not visiting your aging parents. I can understand that's maybe a good thing. If you're cheating online games, insincere apologies for crimes committed. Well, how do you know if they're insincere or not? Now look at America. How many people are insincere about that? Every one of them is going to have a problem. Spreading rumors on the internet. Bad driving. In China, bad driving. Okay, no comment. Smoking in non-smoking areas. Points taken away. Buying too many video games. I didn't think there's such a thing. And posting fake news online. What are the consequences of violating and losing points? What could happen to you? Or is it just some silly game? Well, these are actual consequences that happened in China, as documented in Business Insider, October 29, 2018. Blocked from buying tickets for domestic flights. Yes. A gentleman by name, and I hate to mispronounce this, Li Shilin, a lawyer who was placed on the list in 2015, found himself unable to purchase a plane ticket home while on a work trip. How about denied student university spot? A Chinese university denied an incoming student his spot because the student's father had a bad social credit score. So dads, you better do good. Banned from holidays and hotels? Yes, people who refused military service were also banned from some holidays and hotels. I guess you can't be a pacifist. Dogs confiscated. Yes, you dog lovers out there, beware. If you're cat lovers, I guess you're safe. Those who lost all their points had their dogs confiscated. And companies blacklist from hiring. A 2016 government notice encourages companies to consult the blacklist before hiring people or giving them contracts. Is there another future for the Earth besides this? Is this our possible future for health? Good vibrations, yes. It demonstrated an ability to in vitro to fragment cancer cells and inhibit proliferation in 2 different human leukemia cells using frequencies. Imagine these pandemics, these problems with diseases. What happens if Star Trek wasn't that far off and we could use frequencies in some ways to arrest the development of most diseases? Well, this guy, Anthony Holland, proved that certain frequencies were able to inhibit cancer cells for leukemia. This is not the first time. If you go back in history, did our hidden past already see our future health? Do you know George Lakowski or Royal Raymond Rife? In 1924, he had several plants that were injected with cancer, yes, tumors. And he did these experiments with radiocellular oscillator rings, and he placed them around the plants, and the tumors were gone within a short period of time. These experiments were conducted with animals later, but human trials weren't done, and for some reason was abandoned. And in 1934, USC Special Cancer Research Program, using the Rife MOR treatments for terminal patients, was used sending frequencies into the body to try to arrest and stop the development of cancers. In 1934 at USC, they had this cancer program where they're doing the research. See if you can find the results of that program. Guess what? They're not available. Yaman, was this our possible future for energy? Sorry, the Jamaican accent may not be that good, but I'm working on it. Bob Marley be proud though. In 1941, a car made entirely out of hemp and could run off hemp fuel as well as vegetable oil. The body itself was 10 times stronger than steel. It's reported November 17, 2018. the Ford hemp car. Was Tesla right about a world of free energy? What would we do if we didn't have oil to fight over in this world? We talk about solar, we talk about wind energy and other things, but what about energy actually from the Earth itself or from the ionosphere, the atmosphere? That's what Tesla was talking about. Something that you may only need an antenna for and gather it. I shall ultimately succeed in conveying power without wires for industrial purposes with high economy and to any distance, however great. That was what Tesla said in 1901 in Collier's Weekly. Prior to that, in the 1900 Century magazine, Tesla demonstrated wireless power transmission at Colorado Springs, lighting electric lights mounted outside the building some 10 miles away without any wires. He was building a tower in Walden Cliff until the funding was taken out because J.P. Morgan and others realized there's no way you could restrict people from accessing this energy once they had the proper apparatus. So yes, literally, it would practically be free energy. What about farming and food? Lessons from commies for the future of urban farming? You know, the shortages we're seeing in the supermarkets. Well, what if we didn't have to worry about supermarkets as much? What if we had plenty of food we'd never have to worry about in this world? Well, Cuba, when they cut off all the oil to it, they had no corporate farming for a period of time because they had no oil going in. It was the embargo. Cuba had taken enormous strides towards agricultural self-reliance without chemical inputs and without large-scale corporate farming. They overturned the myths about the inefficiency of organic farming. December 1999 is ResearchGate. You can read about it yourself, how they not only survived, but they thrived during that time period. Hotels, houses, everywhere is doing their own organic farming. Who agrees? No, it's not a question, it's a statement. The World Health Organization agrees. If Communist Cuba can feed its people with small urban organic gardens, imagine what Americans could do in their own private neighborhoods. Can coronavirus victory gardens quell post-pandemic hunger? According to several articles, yes. The UN itself stated in one article that only small farmers and agroecology can feed the world, not large corporate farms. So, what future do you want? Do you want to play the game of life from China? Maybe get your dog taken away if you're not a good citizen? Or do you want to play your own game of life? Ask your own questions. Determine your own future. I know which one I want to play. I hope you've decided. We look forward to seeing you in the next episode of Common Sense. We're going to discuss some element beginnings of the medical establishment and go into some of the ideas and concepts of what we call social engineering, propaganda, public relations. Episode 2 will be coming soon. Please be looking for it. Make sure to click, put a like down there, and subscribe to us, and donate if you can so you can keep our work going. Thank you.